I want to talk about today the most valuable half second in your life. It is the half second between something happening and you reacting to it. Most people's version of this gap is zero. The trigger fires, the reaction follows immediately, automatically. The words are out of your mouth, the email is sent, the decision is made before your logic even had a chance to weigh in. And then 5 minutes later, the chart settles, and you look at what just happened and think, why did I do that again? Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to create that gap, not through willpower, not through discipline, not through breathing exercises that you forget to do when you actually need them. I'm going to show it to you through something simpler, Arkham Razor, and more reliably than any of those things. Victor Frankly, who survived the Nazi concentration, wrote about it, said something that had stayed with me since I first read it. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. That space he's talking about, that is that gap. And here is the thing about the gap that nobody tells you. It doesn't, it does not have to be long. It does not have to be a meditation retreat or a week of silence or a year of therapy. Even though I believe that retreats work and I plan to start my own soon, but relying totally on that is not what I believe. It just has to exist. Half a second, 1 second, 3 seconds at most. That is enough time for your confusion or for your consciousness, awareness to register what is happening, to see the loop firing, to make a choice instead of running an automatic reaction. The problem is that for most people, especially high functioning founders between 25 and 38, the loop fires so fast and so completely that the gap never gets created. Not because they lack intelligence, that is not there, we all know that. Because the loop was formed so early and has been running so long that it has become fully automated. Like a keyboard shortcut. Something happens, the loop runs the program, the reaction comes out. No manual input required. As simple as that. The work is not destroying the program, the work is inserting one conscious movement between the trigger and the program running. And that conscious movement exactly at that time. That awareness is what the loop cannot survive. Now, let me show you the body scan practice. Think about this practice, okay? And I want you to actually do this as I describe it rather than just listen to it. Right now, wherever you are, check three things. First, where are your shoulders? Are they raised towards your ears or are they dropped and relaxed? Just notice. Do not move, just notice where they are. Don't try to move the shoulder, okay? Second is your jaw. Loose or is it slightly clenched? A lot of people carry jaw tension so consistently that relaxed jaw feels strange. Just notice. Third, where is your breathing happening? Is it the high in the chest, shallow, tight, restricted, or is it lower in the belly, slower, fuller? These three things are your loop's signature in your body. When the loop is activated, running a fear response, an approval response, an anger response, any of those patterns, these three things tighten up automatically, consistently, before your mind knows what is happening. Your shoulder rise to protect your neck, your jaw clench to prepare for impact, your breathing rises to the chest to maximize oxygen in a threat response. This is ancient. This is your nervous system doing exactly what it was designed to do in the presence of threat. The problem is, your nervous system cannot tell the difference between a tiger and a difficult email, between a physical threat and someone questioning your pricing, between genuine danger and your partner saying something in the wrong tone. So the ancient threat response fires for modern situations and the body tightens. And the loop runs and the reaction comes out, the body scans how you catch it before it completes. Here's how to use it in real time. When something happens, a trigger is alive. Before you respond, take 10 seconds and run the three questions. Shoulders up or down, jaw clenched or loose, breathing, chest or belly. If all three are activated, tight, raised, shallow, that is the signal. The loop is firing. This is not the moment to make a decision. This is not the moment to send the reply. This is the moment to pause. Not forever, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, long enough for your nervous system to register that you saw it. Simple. Long enough for the initial charge to drop from a 10 seconds to a 6 or a 7. Long enough for your real voice to have a chance to speak before the loop completes on its own. That is where you break the loop. Let me tell you what shifts when you start doing this consistently. Not perfectly, consistently. The first thing that shifts is the intensity of your reactions. Not the frequency, the intensity of it, how you badly you react, how abruptly you react, how boldly you react. You will still feel triggered, but the loop will still fire also. But instead of going from 0 to 100 in like half a second, it goes from 0 to 60. And 60 is manageable. 60 is something your logic can work with. Even, let's say, an example, you lash out on someone close, a partner, or some office person. You know that there's a difference between that 60 and that total 100. The second thing that shifts is the quality of your decisions, because you are no longer making decisions in the peak of the activation. You're making them after you have noticed the loop firing and given yourself 10 seconds of space, and 10 seconds of conscious space changes the decisions altogether, if you think about it. So you can just close your eyes and you can think of a scenario and give it a shot in your head. You yourself will know how drastically the response will differ, how drastically things will get aligned. And if it's the time you're worried about, the time you have to give to think that 10 seconds, just consider the amount of time you'll be saving up by doing this for the later consequences. The email you would have sent in the peak of that activation, you do not send it, or you send a completely different version of it smartly most of the time. The deal you would have spent or agreed to for fear of the gap in revenue, you pause before signing. The conversation you would have avoided to keep the peace, you have it calmly, because you caught the peacekeeper loop before it made the decision for you. The third thing that shifts, and this is the one most people do not expect, is your relationships. The people closest to you feel the charge before you can articulate it, because what they were responding to was not your words, it was the energy underneath the words, the activation, the tightness, the loop leaking into every interaction. Many times you must have heard also people saying, it was not your words, it was your tone. And tone is the energy coming out. The activation, the tightness, the loop leaking into every interaction. When the gap creates space for the energy to settle before you speak, they feel the difference immediately. Just this implementation, and you will get response from the people close by to you who have seen you respond immediately in a loop. They are going to tell you the difference they are noticing in your pattern, the difference they can actually feel from you, and this will be a positive difference. One thing I want to leave you with today: the gap does not require anything you do not already have. You do not need a course, you do not need a retreat, you do not need a therapist. Though therapy is valuable and I'm not going against it, though I do sell courses, I do retreats, I'm planning to start it now. All Most of it you need is 3 questions and 10 seconds. Shoulder, jaw, breathing. That is the practice. You can start tomorrow. You can even start today. Be prepared for the next week. Not when you're triggered. Start it in the morning when nothing is happening. Run the scan when you wake up. Before you pick up your phone, before the day loads, it demands onto you. Just notice it. How do you wake up also with it? Learn what your baseline feels like, because you cannot notice a deviation from baseline if you have never estimated what baseline is. Morning scan every day, 10 seconds. That is the deposit that starts compounding everything else. Book a loop decode session if you want to go deeper than the practice. If you want to locate the specific loop that is running your biggest patterns and start the work of actual clearing it, the link is in the description. I'll see you on Monday, and next week the first guest episode arrive. Jay Sportswitz is going to join, a founder who built something real, lost it, rebuilt it, decoded its own loop in the middle of all. That conversation is going to be worth the wait. Subscribe, you are there.